Yo, what it is, YouTube? Oh shit. It's your boy Nixie coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. So I actually wanted to talk about NBA Youngboy's sound. NBA Youngboy and his engineer, also Jason Goldberg, I think that they have an incredible relationship. And I think one thing about Youngboy's music is I always used to like his music, but once he switched out his engineer to Jason Goldberg, I really started to love his music. I feel like somebody like Jason Goldberg Cheese was somebody who really started to push Youngboy in a certain direction with his music and everything like that. You know, he was there for him when he was in prison, helping him put out some of those more newer albums that he got and everything like that. So let's get right to the tutorial. I wanted to go over his actual tracking chain, but not exactly what he's using, but why is he using it, his mindset and everything like that. So if you guys do have any more comments or questions, go ahead and check it out down below. You can go ahead and also get this UAD console preset for free as well. Okay, cool. So let's look into this a little bit further. So you got somebody like Jason, Mr. Jason Goldberg, who I absolutely love his music. I love how his personality is. Usually when it comes to, tapping in with somebody like an engineer, it all has to be a right fit chemistry wise. Youngboy was already Youngboy before Jason Goldberg, but he definitely came in there and started pushing him, bringing him to an even better place with his musical career. I feel like, I start to hear Youngboy doing different stuff with his voice and different flows and different styles. And sometimes that's coming from the person who is your engineer. It's pretty important to tap in with an engineer, that you have chemistry with. It's not all about the sound. It's about the chemistry with the person, the relationship with the person. That's his homeboy. That's his partner. If you watch a couple of videos of Jason Goldberg, how he talks about how him and NBA Youngboy just be tapping in on music. You might even see this guy sometimes. There's a video of him with the chains on having fun with Youngboy. This guy is genuinely his friend, and I don't think people understand that. When it comes to making music, you got to tap in with somebody who's your homeboy. If that's your beat maker, if that's your engineer, if that's even your cover artist, it's easier to find somebody who is agrees with you on the same stuff, to also have the same artistic vision as you. So that's very important. And somebody who's cool with you like that really can take your life perspective and put it into the music, because they understand you as a person. They understand what you like and what you don't like. So yeah, Jason Goldberg, he's very, very good. And I love his setup because he's one of the type of people, his mindset, he has a no shit attitude when it comes to recording. And his mindset is always like, I don't give a damn where we at. We're going to record and it's going to sound good, because he realizes that it's not about the equipment. This is something that, when you make music for a long time, you realize it's not about the equipment. You realize it's all about the moment, the passion right then and there. Youngboy going through something, cheese, pull up real quick. He already there, ready to record him like that, always there to catch the inspiration. Being an engineer is like a photographer, and Mr. Cheese, he also knows that as well. That's why he's got his mobile rig set up. If you go on his Instagram, you will see what I'm talking about. He's always the type of guy who he'll set up anywhere, anytime, any place he want to record. And one thing that he likes to use a lot is the UAD Sphere microphone. He has the Townsend, which is the throwback one. He was the reason why I got it, because I used to record people in my car, so I could actually relate to him. I could relate to him of recording anywhere. In the beginning when I was engineering, a lot of people didn't want to give me a break because I was always a rapper. So when I saw him talking about how he records in any situation, that reminded me how I used to record people in alleyways and in abandoned houses and inside of the back of my car. So I just resonated with him. So sometimes if you're looking for gear, find an engineer that has the same ear as you and try to pick some gear that they have. So yeah, let's go. And the Sony C800, is an emulation from the Sphere, the Townsend mic he likes to use a lot. And the Sony C800, at a certain point in time, it comes to where a sound is just straight up familiar. Sometimes you do want to give a rapper a sound that they've already heard before, because it makes them feel comfortable, like they're in a comfortable place. Whenever you're recording a rapper, you don't want them to be like, oh, it kind of sounds different, or what's that sound? That's off, because that's gonna kill the vibe. So with somebody like Youngboy, it's all about the vibe, because he's really doing all his lyrics on the spot. You know what I mean? He's doing all his lyrics on the spot. So how he feels in that moment is very important to how his lyrics is gonna come off. So that's important. Youngboy, he usually has a little bit of auto-tune in his headphones, a little bit of reverb. He's got the C800 emulation as well as the Neve 80R RS, and it's kind of making everything kind of sound finished. So now that Youngboy knows how it sounds like it's finished, in the headphones, going across the finish line, that puts him in a confident space where he could just come in there and be like, oh, let me do something different. Because now he's hearing things in a different way, you know. So that's why I think something like an Apollo Twin is invaluable. You know, it's very easy to set up the auto tune and the reverb in the headphones and all that good stuff. So yeah, he uses something like the Sony C800G. He uses the preset from the UAD Sphere microphone, you know, pretty much, you know, even though he got the Townsend, it's all the same shit. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato, Javinci, Javanci. So yeah, he loves to use this, and this is known for being a very bright microphone. But even though it's very bright, it kind of does fit Youngboy's voice in a certain way. It's weird because Youngboy, sometimes he knows how to make his voice so high and squeaky and so melodic, but Jason Cheese knows how to make it not annoying, you know, not like too irritating. And sometimes when you got a lot of rapper with a lot of high mid energy in their voice, it can start to get annoying. But Cheese, you know, he knows how to accommodate to Youngboy's voice. He knows how to make Youngboy's voice sound very lush. And, you know, the C800 is a part of the reason why his vocal sounds so lush and so bright, and the nuances and the transition into the words. And, you know, he's changing all the different pitches. You can hear that stuff really clearly, that presence energy from the actual, you know, frequency response or something like the C800G. You know, it has a lot of presence, a lot of breathy, a lot of airiness tone. And of course, we know that this microphone is kind of flawed a little bit because it has a tube, and tube microphones take a little bit of time to warm up versus where something like a UAD Sphere, it don't take no time to warm up. You know, it doesn't have a tube inside of it, but you still get the same comparable sound. After that, you know, Cheese, he's very simple with this. He likes to use the Neve 88 RS on the UA Apollo console. So let's look at this a little bit further, yeah? I think this is actually a very, very good combination of the Neve 88 RS going into the Sphere, because something about the Neve 88 RS, it's not similar to some of the other Neve compressors like the 33609 and, you know, the 2254, in the sense that, you know, the diode bridge of those other compressors usually makes it sound very, very colored. But something about this Neve 88 RS, it's actually very transparent. I know that Tom Elmhurst, he mixed Adele's Rolling in the Deep on this type of console, you know, so it's just known for that modern type of smooth sound. And I feel like it kind of balances out the very airiness of the C800, or any potential harshness that could get you know, into the C800, that the C800 will amplify. You know, if you have something like the 88 RS before the C800, it just really makes it sound very smooth. And I know that Jason Goldberg, he likes to push it on mic, you know, mic level. He likes to push it to somewhere around 30, you know, 30, 35. You know, sometimes he might even, like, you know, let the artist do a scratch vocal take, let Youngboy do a scratch vocal take, depending on how loud Youngboy want to get. You know, Youngboy, he likes to go up and down, very dynamic with his vocal, right? He might start to take the, you know, the little ring on the Apollo Twin and ride the gain before he even hits the compressor, just to make sure he's not over compressing. And you guys should watch some of the videos on Jason Goldberg. Amazing person, amazing person. Sometimes, you know, for the most part, he's usually tapping just the very first light, doing only about like what, 1 to 2 dB once in a while. And yeah, you know, this is pretty much, you know, an incredible setup right out of the box. The 88 RS with the 30 on the preamp, just a little bit of threshold till you hit about 1 to 2 dB. Then going into something like the Sphere. And the beautiful thing about the Sphere compared to the, you know, the original C800 is, I think on the original C800, you only get 2 Polaroid patterns, which is the Omni and the Cardioid. But this one, you get a potentially way more. And you also get other features like pushing the proximity. You know, when I'm recording people, I usually do push the proximity just a hint, just because of the tonal seesaw of the human ear. You know, sometimes when you hear a lot of brightness, right, it's kind of like a situation where, you know, you hear so much brightness, so the vocals sound thin. Not necessarily the vocals are actually thin, but because you hear so much brightness, the way the seesaw of the human ear works, it makes you hear way less lows. So sometimes I do push a little bit of proximity just to bring in some of that bass back into the person's voice, especially if they don't have a deep voice. So yeah, you guys can catch this preset down below. You know, it's going to be free. And if you guys do have a UAD Sphere as well as, you know, Apollo Twin, you can just pop this right out of the box and it's going to sound incredible. So I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop some comments down below for different artists you want to see. Appreciate it. Peace.